Open enrollment for Medicare begins just a couple of days from now on Wednesday, October 15th. And unfortunately, this means scammers will be more likely to take advantage of those trying to sign up. To keep yourself safe, AARP said the following. And stay tuned and pay close attention because it isn't just Medicare scams that are set to begin. Watch this.
Yeah, no, honestly, he's the goddamn Joker. Gavin Newsom is like from the Batman Dark Knight, the Joker is in charge of Gotham. You remember when he took over New York, basically, and the criminals roam free and the citizens are arrested. That's California.
Californians, you are not going to like this. Gavin Newsom just signed SB 79. That is the controversial bill that overrides local zoning and allows for 7-story residential development within single-family R1 zones if they are within a half a mile of public transit.
The world we invented has been competing against us. We have got to perform. And if we can't address this issue, we're going to lose trust. And that's just the truth. And so this is so much bigger in many ways than the issue itself. It is about the reputation of not just Sacramento and legislative leadership and executive leadership, but the reputation of the state of California.
There's moments where I'm in a position where I'm told, hey, this council member is not supporting this land use decision. Will you back the NIMBYs instead of the YIMBYs, right? Myself, it's not a matter of the YIMBYs or the NIMBYs. I generally believe that a council member's number one job description, especially in the city of Los Angeles, is land use decisions. People get elected for the conversations that they have with folks about what they're going to do to keep their neighborhood looking and growing the way that they want it to be. So, for example, for the state to say, here's your opportunity to build something that is potentially 7 stories high, when nothing around it is 7 stories because the state allows it, it's almost an insult to everyone who voted for the individual who they believe is going to help grow and clean and maintain their communities as they would like them to be.
But see, that to me gets at the core of the issue. And first of all, I just want to say, I appreciate you coming on here because I am out there in favor of SB 79. You're on with the proponent of the bill. So I appreciate you coming and being willing to have this debate. And I really want to be fair to your point of view. But what I hear there is what you're saying is, well, there weren't 7-story buildings here in the past, so there can't be 7-story buildings here in the future. But that freezes California in a moment when there were far fewer people in this state. And my concern in what I'm hearing from you is there are legitimate issues that you're raising about what locals feel about the character of their neighborhood. I'm not saying that those aren't legitimate concerns, but it seems to lose the forest for the trees, which is we have an emergency. There's only a quarter, 20% of the number of affordable units as the number of people who need them. We are losing people to Texas. Right? They are making a claim that we are failing in California to build enough. Like, this is an emergency. The problem isn't that there are going to be buildings too high near transit stops. The problem is there is nowhere for people who want to come to California to live. It is pushing our entertainment business out. It is pushing young people out. This is an emergency. We should all be freaking out about how urgent it is to do anything humanly possible to build housing. And you're worried about whether or not there's a place for a few senior citizens to sit outside a building that developers are trying to build. And I'm saying, great, that's important. But are you focused on what will ultimately make California affordable for the people in your district?
Probably out of 13 or 14 lots, 5 of them are for sale. I hear most going to Chinese folk who are buying them all up. These are lots that are probably $6 million a piece, maybe 7,000, 7,500 square feet. So very small lots, very expensive lots. And as you can see, the people who lived here for years, these are family homes, have chosen not to try to rebuild. All right, something is going on because I counted 8 lots for sale in front of my residence. And that's a short run. I mean, that's out of maybe 25 or 30 lots, 8 of them are for sale. So I don't know if the Chinese are buying them all up, and I don't know how it works, but there's an inordinate amount of lots being sold and not being rebuilt by the owners. And obviously you can see there's no rebuilding going on by any owner on PCH. As predicted from the hotel room one day after the fire, and I say one day after fire, I mean 8 hours after the fire, I sat in that hotel room in Burbank and I said, there shall be no rebuilding because there will be no giving of permits. And we're 9 months and I don't see one stitch of building materials. So lots of lots for sale and zero rebuilding.
That's current or future public transport, including bus stops.
Gavin Newsom has done it again, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the show. If you're watching this, you're probably like me, a bit skeptical of the world these days, especially when it comes to protecting what's yours. Today, we're diving into some of the biggest scams hitting us right now, starting with a California bombshell that's got folks from the Palisades to Sacramento up in arms. We'll unpack the viral buzz taking over X, and this is about Governor Gavin Newsom, SB 79, and whispers of China-linked corruption after that devastating Palisades fire. Then we'll pivot to something that hits closer to home for many of you seniors, Medicare scams during open enrollment. Stick around. I've got real warnings, empathy for what you're facing, and a lifeline to make it all easier. So let's get into it. All right, folks, let's talk California. Once a beautiful state, but man, it's feeling like a house of cards lately. You've probably seen those viral posts blowing up on X from voices like Adam Carolla and everyday Californians calling out what looks like a perfect storm of policy and opportunism. After the Palisades fire wiped out homes and dreams earlier this year, families are still waiting on rebuild permits. Nearly zero issued, despite promises from Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass to waive fees and fast-track approvals. Contractors are on camera exposing the red tape. Full fees on destroyed properties, no timelines, just heartbreak. But here's where it gets shady, folks. Claims are swirling that Chinese investors are snapping up 5 to 6 lots at a time in fire-ravaged zones like Pacific Palisades and Altadena, turning neighborhoods into what locals call Chinatowns, with signs in Mandarin everywhere. And Gavin Newsom? Well, we all know his soft spot for the CCP. He's been caught cruising in his BYD electric car, rolling out the red carpet for Chinese delegations while cracking down on street cleanups and homeless displacement to pretty up the place for his buddies when they make their visit. A new book even digs into his ties, calling it a gateway for CCP-linked corps to fleece American citizens. Coincidence? I'll let you be the judge. Now, enter SB 79, the Abundant and Affordable Homes Near Transit Act that Newsom just signed into law on October 10th. On paper, it's about upzoning near transit hubs to build denser housing up to 7 to 9 stories in some spots to fight the affordability crisis. But critics, including LA Mayor Karen Bass and housing equity advocates, are screaming gentrification grenade. Why? It overrides local zoning in big metro areas, carving out exemptions for wealthy enclaves, but leaving low-income, fire-hit neighborhoods exposed, rezoning them for multifamily builds that could displace families and line developers' pockets. Viral X chatter, comments, posts, reactions, and Reddit threads tie it straight to the Palisades. Post-fire land values tank, no rebuilds allowed, and now state-backed land banks, can you say hello, Bill 549 rumors, could let the government lowball buyouts for low-income projects that never actually materialize. It's like a land grab scripted for Newsom's insider network. Foreign cash flows in, locals get pushed out, and housing stays unaffordable for the rest of us. Even Trump piled on, claiming low income high rises are rising before permits for victims. Newsom called it a lie, but the outrage is real. And this isn't just policy. It's a scam on hardworking Californians, especially seniors on fixed incomes who can't afford to relocate. If you're in a fire-prone area or near transit, watch your property like a hawk. Check local zoning updates and join community groups fighting back. And for more on the ex-post's SB 79 details and how to protect your land rights, head to the description down below this video. I've linked other resources.
Most people have no idea that this battle was going on. It was even controversial within the legislature. It barely got out of the legislature, and it's one of the most interesting vote counts that you will ever see. Cities and counties across the state lined up either for or against it because this is a landmark bill, now law, that takes away local control around the development of our neighborhoods. This is part of a larger agenda to push population into high density around transportation. Developers are happy, but you're going to have no say when a 7-story residential building goes into your single-family neighborhood.
That's enough to make anyone's blood boil, right? Schemes that prey on disaster and displace the vulnerable. But speaking of vulnerabilities, let's shift to something even more personal. The scams targeting you directly during Medicare open enrollment. Just like those land grabs exploit chaos, fraudsters love this time of year to steal your info and peace of mind. And trust me, I get how overwhelming it feels. But knowledge is power and help is here. Open enrollment kicks off in just less than 48 hours, October 15th, and runs through December 7th. Your chance to review and switch 2026 plans for better coverage. But AARP is sounding the alarm. Scammers are ramping up, posing as reps with free gifts or limited time offers to snag your Medicare number, Social Security, or bank details. These crooks hit the most vulnerable, hardest seniors watching, listening to my show, with unsolicited calls, emails, texts, and mailers that feel like a bombardment. AARP's clear advice is never share personal information with anyone who contacts you out of the blue about Medicare. Legit plans only reach out if you've asked or you're already enrolled with them. Thank you. Stick to the gold standard, folks, and that is exactly why Chapter never calls you, you call them. More importantly, compare plans safely with Chapter. And there are ample resources. Again, I will link them down below for you guys in the description. I just want you guys to be aware and be protected and be prepared. It's important to report suspicious stuff to local law enforcement or even a fraud watch network, and always review your Medicare statements for funny business. It's your first line of defense. And I know what it's like for you seniors out there, because I talk to you regularly. I read your comments. AEP, the annual enrollment period, is straight up stressful, overwhelming, and aggravating. You're drowning in spam mail, robocalls, pushy agents, and texts from third parties who'll sweet talk you into a worse plan just to close the deal. And many of you skip reviewing altogether because it feels like a hassle, especially if last year's plan was good enough. But here's the hard truth. Not checking is risky. Plans change yearly, doctors drop out, meds get uncovered, and you could overpay big time. Every year, millions and millions end up stuck on the wrong fit, losing coverage or footing unnecessary bills. Picture this. You're bombarded with Medicare mailers promising the moon, but it's all noise. Even if you're happy now, 2026 could flip the script. Some plans vanish entirely. Skip shopping and you risk no coverage for your trusted doc, surprise gaps in treatments, or overpaying for care you need. And the costs, well, they're climbing. According to the Medicare Trustees Report, Part B premiums are projected to jump from $185 to over $206, and that's an 11% hike, or almost $22 more a month, impacting everyone on Original Medicare or Medicare Advantage. Remember, folks, these are projections and they're not set in stone. Official numbers drop this fall. Part D prescription premiums are expected to rise too, per the Wall Street Journal, with some plans hiking up to $50 a month due to drug costs and policy tweaks. Add in the projected $288 deductible for Part B, which is up over $30, and it's a squeeze on fixed incomes. But here's why you must pay attention now. The Social Security COLA, cost of living adjustment, might help offset some, but it won't cover everything. And unethical agents don't care about your needs. Don't let fear win, folks. Let's turn overwhelm into action. And that's where trusted help shines, like our partners at Chapter, who've already guided thousands of folks just like you through these choppy waters. Chapter isn't another sales pitch. They're the only Medicare advisors scanning every plan nationwide to match the best fit for your health, doctors, meds, and budget. No bias, no pressure, just facts. And they've saved callers, folks like you who watch and listen to my show on the regular, an average of $1,100 a year by spotting better options or confirming your golden as is. But this is finding out what works best for you. There's no one size fits all. Projections based on their reviews, results may vary, but the peace of mind is priceless, folks. They offer free consultations, wrapping up your 2026 review in under 20 minutes. And if it's time to switch during this October 15th to December 7th window, they'll handle it seamlessly. And get this, they get swamped fast, so don't wait till the last minute. Call now to lock in an appointment and enjoy the holidays worry-free. And for more on AARP warnings, I've got links down below in the description and Chapter's full story. Check the video description down below, but the immediate move, do what everyone else is already doing. Dial 270-467-2426 right now. Tell them you watch my show and Kevin sent you. Our friends at Chapter will take excellent care of you with honest advice tailored just for you. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay vigilant, stay connected, and remember, you're not alone in this. Like, subscribe, drop a comment on your biggest worry, and we'll tackle it next time in a future video. Protect your home, protect your health, protect your future. I'll see you guys soon.